Hey everyone, so welcome to the design audit, and this time it's a neumorphic clock made by the user called Kritvi. And I feel partially responsible for this whole neumorphism thing catching on, because I was kind of at the very beginning of it, and I don't really think it's a great style, but it's a good exercise, so let's keep it at that. So the first thing to check is the bottom and the side margins to see if they're at any point uniform. And the best way to do that is obviously creating a couple of red squares and just measuring everything. And as we can see here, there's a lot less space at the bottom than on the sides. It could be like that if it was deliberate, but I think that it still would work better if the space was the same. Checking out the middle of the screen component spacing, but they seem to be okay. But if we add some grid lines to the sides and align it to the content, we can see that both the stopwatch title and the icon are actually sticking out on each side. The settings icon is also not in the center. You can easily check it by creating a circle the size of the icon, making it red and a little bit transparent, and then you can align that circle to the overlay circle underneath. I'm making some additional grid lines for the buttons to be able to better align the text, because as we can clearly see, the stop text is not in the center of the button. So I'm also adding some red squares in every button and aligning them to the baseline, so we'll be able to better align the proper text. But before we get to the text, let's look at the proportion of the icons, because clearly the very first icon on the very left is a lot bigger than all the other ones. And the icon on the right is actually an outline, so it's a lot less heavy visually and creates an imbalance in the design. So I'm creating some red circles for reference for the proper size of the icon within the button. But since this is a flat image that I'm kind of drawing on top of, I'm not gonna modify the icons themselves. One of the main problems with neumorphism is that it's actually very low on contrast, and especially in those indented selection buttons. So I think what would work best is to actually pick a color for this project, and I'm gonna choose red, and create a better way to show which item is actually selected. And then I'm making some arbitrary changes to the typography, and first of all I'm making the font color a little bit darker so it's gonna stand out a little bit more. Now if you have an option to stop, it means that the clock is actually running, so it's good to actually create some sort of indicator of that. So I'm creating a couple of lines and creating like a progress bar going around the circle. And it's not gonna be super precise, so sorry for that, I'm just trying to do it quickly. Okay, so now let's modify the font in all the other buttons. So I'm gonna choose a slightly lighter weight, and I'm gonna color the font in stop to a brighter red. And of course we align everything perfectly in the center. And I'm also adding a little dot to show the progress on the progress bar, just so it's a little bit more visible. Okay, now the last box. So I'm gonna align the content on the sides as far from the edge as it is from the bottom and the top. That's gonna make it a lot easier to read. But I'm also gonna emphasize a little bit the number 1 by adding a red background to it. So here is a before and after shot without me modifying the icons at all. And of course these are very small minor changes that you can do in just a couple minutes, but they all add that little extra level of refinement to the project, so it's important to actually look at those little details and fix them. So anyway, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video if you want more. And you can of course also email me your projects if you want me to review them. And of course, if you haven't already, check out the book, because even the free chapters are gonna help you a lot with proper alignment of buttons, objects, and so on. So cheers, bye bye.